everybody. How is everybody doing today? This evening? I got me another Alabama shirt on. It's kind of a weird sitting down. Anyway, it's our contest me and my daughter are having. Hope everybody's doing good tonight. See who all's here.
I'm not even there yet.
Dana's not even here yet. She's sitting right beside me, but let me see. Florida, how you doing? From Florida, it's you're probably Roll Tide. That's absolutely right. Our friends, if they're here from, usually have some from Australia and South Africa and England. When they say Roll Tide, that's actually the University of Alabama's mantra when they're playing football. And football for us is different from football in Europe. Football in Europe is what we call soccer, and it's a whole different thing over here.
Especially college football.
Yeah, college football is more of a religion over here.
Look at this.
Taking my peanut butter stuff. My shirt looks, I need to be sitting somewhere else. My shirt looks extremely wrinkled. I'm going to bring up some things tonight that I kind of ran across.
Coat of Many Colors says go Vols.
Go Vols.
Yeah, she's obviously a Dolly Parton fan too.
Yeah, we got a special relationship with Tennessee. Alabama does. They really have, when they play, they have a Tennessee hate week. They have all kinds of stuff. It goes both ways, but if they beat Tennessee, they always smoke cigars after the game. I don't understand that. I don't smoke, so I don't get it. But they do. Listen, I gathered some information today while I was just looking over some Summer Wells stuff that I thought was pretty interesting. I don't know exactly who posted it. I'll tell you where I got it. You go over there yourself. This is the place I got it. It's Missing Persons in America. And they're pretty good. It's a website that has a lot of stuff. But I'm just not sure if it's all super reliable or not. It looks like it is, but you can go over to and visit this place. Just Google that, and you can go visit it and check out for yourself what they've said. This is the article that I thought was pretty fascinating. Red truck, Summer Wells, missing Tennessee. I'm gonna make this bigger so I can read it for you. What?
Nothing, go ahead.
Summer Wells has been missing from Rogersville, Tennessee since June 15th. Now it's over a month. The police are looking for a witness that they don't know but they don't know who they are. But was seen driving a red and maroon 1998 to 2000 Toyota Tacoma with white buckets in the bed. They passed through Ben Hill Road and Ben Creek Road early Monday, June 14th, or Tuesday, June 15th. The person is not a suspect. They're asking for the person that drove this vehicle to call the police, as they might be a witness to what happened to Summer Wells. And we talked about that last time we were on here, about that these people may be even from out of state that have this pickup truck and doing work in the area and may not have heard the news about it. But as we go reading this article further, it was a little confusing to me, but I thought it was so important that I thought we'd better share it and let you get your opinion of really what we're looking at with these people. This came from Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. In the process of doing this, and they're talking about looking for summer wells, we received the information that a Toyota pickup was seen in the area of Beach Creek Road and Ben Hill Road in the late afternoon to evening on either Monday, June 14th or Tuesday, June 15th. The pickup truck is possibly a 98 2000 maroon red Tacoma with a full ladder rack along with white buckets in the truck bed. We have been unable to identify the driver of this truck. Due to this, we're asking that the driver contact us at 1-800-TBI find. We would like to speak to you to confirm this information and ask you if you may have heard or seen anything at this time. If you are the driver of the truck, please contact us. We want to stress that the individual is not a suspect, but is a potential witness who may have heard or seen something that may help us in the search for Summer. Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. Well, that's all and good. We've all heard this, but you wait till you actually see what the rest of the article is saying. It kind of to me really got me stirred up. Really,
Candalee says Chris took a ride up there and showed us the terrain. It was dangerous drive and had extremely high drop-offs.
Yeah, said Ben Hill is Summer's. Ben Hill Road basically is Summer's home. Hawkton is a garbage collection center. Republic Service Landfill, and Big M is where the red truck had been seen on a trail cam. So apparently it was on a trail cam. I also believe, now this is coming from this website, and whoever this person writing this evidently is the owner of the site, because I didn't see his name like referencing anything other than saying I am so and so. I also believe statewide Amber Alerts should be branched out to other nearby states before any more time goes by. Now, I've even said that. I think that they should at least, and they may have put it out to different police departments in a memo form. And I also wanted to tell you about this post that was put up early this morning, where the poster stated that she saw Summer at a Save-A-Lot in Tellico Plains, Tennessee on Thursday night. Now, that would have been after she would have been gone missing. Tellico Plains is about 2.5 hours from Rogersville. The post stated she called in the tip to the TBI and never, called tip and TBI, and many on the post were encouraging her to contact other agencies as well to make sure they get the info. The poster said that the little girl asked for help and she appeared to be starving, but she did not state why. She didn't help the child. Now, why she didn't help the child? I don't either. I mean, if you see some kid that age ask for help and appear to be hungry, I would at least call the police and help him. Help them.
I've gone in the store and bought her food while the police were coming.
Yeah. She said she didn't realize it was Summer until she saw Summer's photo. I haven't reached out to her, and so far she has not responded back to me. But she did respond to others on her post the next day, saying that she hasn't heard back from the authorities yet, and the little girl told her that her ear hurt and there appeared to be a pimple that was bleeding at the top of her ear, bleeding on the top of her ear. I don't know about this and what's going on, how he's getting this information, but at the very least, I tell you, I think I would have called the police and said, hey, we got this information that came across our website, and we feel like it needs to come out and needs to get, regardless if it's old or information you think somebody's already told you. I mean, I've heard all kinds of stuff, and people have sent me stuff saying this was on here, on certain days, and I went back, looked up, sure enough, on that day it had already been published. But if he doesn't remember all this stuff, he should call the police, whoever this person is. It never says on this website. And I want you to go over there and check it out. I mean, it's a whole lot of stuff over there, and some of it appears to be real reliable, and others is kind of flaky. I don't know, but this is pretty. If she was all the way up there, 2.5 hours from this location where initially had reported missing, the police should be all over it up there. They should be flooded that situation.
Coat of many colors, I agree. If this is a true story, that woman should be very ashamed of herself. I was at a store one day and saw a little boy that was confused and crying, and I stayed with him till we found his mother. I would never leave a child that was scared by themselves.
No. Says so far, no one has come forward. Either the person has not heard the police, so this is what talking about the truck, the person looking for him, or they don't realize the person that's being looked for basically is them, that they are the person being looked for. But when I heard this information, I remember a piece of info received about the red truck. Now, this is another little piece that I'm not sure that they're just getting rumors for this site or what. It said, I was told that a red truck was caught on trail cam, and a little girl and a little boy were seen inside the bed of the truck, and that there was a man driving the truck. The little girl had a pink and gray, and they were in the back of the truck. No, I guess they were wearing pink and gray. The truck turned around, backed into the neighbor's driveway near Big Elm Road in Church Hill, Tennessee. In parentheses, I was just recently found that Tony Hammonds, the alleged attempted kidnapper of a 12-year-old girl who was mowing his lawn, lived near Church Hill. Said, he goes on to say, when the truck backed in to turn around, the kids were sitting up in the bed. The man said something to them, and the kids laid down in the truck bed. Then the truck took off. The color of the truck was red. The plate could not be made out. The authorities know about this information, and they have not yet reached out to the public to keep an eye out for the red truck. Does that man that this truck was eliminated are the same Toyota truck? In other words, parties haven't come out. I have a real problem with this particular statement, though, because there are very few game cams that have video. Most of them, I'll go back to this in just a minute. Most of them they take pictures. And I know there's some have video, but most game cams just take a still picture. If it's at night, it's black and white. If it's daylight, it's full color. But here's the thing with this, and the reason is this, because if you take video, it takes so much space up on the memory card that they would have to check this thing nearly every single day to see if deer were in an area but if you put one up there that just takes pictures, I've seen people leave them out there 6-7 weeks. I just don't know. It could be. I'm not saying it's not, but it could be. And another thing is, this thing would not be, they may have been using this deer cam or game cam to catch people driving up and down their road because maybe they've had thefts. And if you think about this, he apparently was, because he did catch this truck going down the road, and he did catch the truck backing up. but looked like to me it would have been where he would have caught the tag number. Just the mere fact they saw the truck in the area, that might be a pretty good bit of information. But if they got the tag number, that'd be even more.
Okay, two things. Bob said everybody has a cell phone. Why didn't she snap a picture if she thought it was Summer? But she said she didn't recognize her as Summer until later.
Yeah.
She didn't know about this little girl missing. But y'all,
a 5-year-old comes up saying help and they look like they're starving. Hey, call the police. It's not going to hurt.
And at Save-A-Lot, she's not the only one that saw her.
No. They may even had video,
Well, I don't know about Save-A-Lot.
What was interesting about this is the kids are sitting up in the truck, the bed of the red truck, the police are looking for stated were white buckets in the bed. Could it be that the kids were in the red truck were sitting on the buckets, and then it's why they appeared to be sitting up? That's a possibility. Likelihood of a stranger is slim. If this is more likely someone that knows the family, even if it's only in passing to go further, passing to go further with that theory, then I believe the authorities need to widen the search and consider the landfill, not their landfill. I don't know if they looked at the landfill or anything else about
I'm concerned about the 5-year-old that was in front of Save-A-Lot now.
Well, they said that they think it was her.
But if it wasn't her, it was a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That breaks my heart.
I don't know. I'd like to get to talk about that. And this is a picture that said, I've not seen anything that shows that the landfill has been included in the search. I would think that if they were searching a landfill, that it would have been brought up in the media. My thought, if anyone did pick up Summer and later use a trash container to get rid of evidence, maybe the evidence would be in the landfill. I do realize that because it is a rural area, evidence could be left in the woods, but what if the person decided I guess they would say not to do that, especially if they knew the police were searching in the woods. Wait a minute. Would they use their own garbage can that they could collect it weekly, or would the commercial dumpster, instead of knowing eventually it would be taken to the landfill?
Go back and read what.
1 second. I looked up the map to see where the landfill was and added Summer's house and where the red truck had been seen. And they've done this right there with that circle. It says Ben Hill is Summer's home. Hawkins is a garbage collection center and Republic Services in the landfill. And Big Elm is where the red truck had been seen on the trail cam. That may be, but you consider this too, and I'll go back to what you were telling me, Dina.
But look at what retired Melinda said something.
Okay.
It's a big thing up there.
Okay, I see. This one?
Yeah.
They didn't release that the red truck. Didn't they release that the red truck they were looking for was found at the lake where the man drowned, and they all went out searching, but the truck was not related to the drowning because the truck had been there for some time. I haven't seen that, Melinda. I haven't seen that. But the fact is, one is, they're talking about the landfill. Yes, they probably eventually will look there as a possibility, but you don't know how many counties, or even if that landfill services a landfill in the country, the way they normally do in the country in the things in Tennessee is, I'll tell you, because our father-in-law utilizes the same thing. They have two structured ways to the garbage to get to the landfill. One, they have a garbage collection service that comes around twice a week. They charge them for it, and then they collect the garbage, and then it's taken to the landfill. Or they also have a garbage collection center in the community, and this is the way my father-in-law does it. They go up there once a week with a whole truck full of garbage, and they have different bins. You know, they got recyclables, they got garbage, and they got junk. So they can go up there and throw the stuff in there. From there, it's taken to the landfill. So you might have 4 or 5 counties that service one landfill, and you might have 30 or 40 communities that service it. So if they do check the landfill, it could be weeks before anything was found, if ever, because there's so much garbage coming into the landfill. Let's see where it was at. You know, I don't know that they will go to that means of searching that landfills and stuff, because right now I think they are still in a rescue mode for them. You know, they're still hoping that she will be found alive. They're still hoping that they can understand if somebody took her. However, if they don't, if they go to a recovery mode only, then I'm sure they will check the landfill, or they'll come out to.
Coat of Many Colors. She talked to Candace.
Okay. When did you talk to her?
I think that was this weekend.
Are you familiar with her, or you know her? Yeah, recovery. And yeah, I'm sure I know that her father, I think somebody said, had thought it was recovery. Got done watching the interview room. Chris Donald did have a video of the area. There's no way someone took her. Yeah, I don't believe they took her either. I've said that for a fact. Female working with the TBI stated last night's recovery. Right. And a lot of times they won't, just because the area, I mean, if somebody's missing a month, there's only two things that could happen. Either it will be a recovery in the area, or they're kidnapped and being held, which I think that is probably very, very slim chance.
You know, there are people who get kicks out of calling families that their children are missing, even 5 or 10 years later.
Yeah.
And tormenting them. They'll call, and sometimes they'll sound like the child or something like that. That's just cruel. And I think this girl that says she saw this 5-year-old at Save a Lot hungry, I think she's going to get attention she didn't think about.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've been watching up there what these people say, but
she said, Coat of Many Colors said, I went to a prayer vigil. There was no prayer. Family didn't mention Summer. That's strange to have a prayer vigil and no prayer.
Yeah. So, Coat of Many Colors, you talked to the mother herself. What did she say? Anything, or what? Can you tell me that maybe was she still, did she seem still out of it like she did in the press interview? I personally think that it may be. Did she seemed out of it too at the time you talked to her? Can you enlighten us about anything that she said that you don't believe has been reported again? Melinda, in my opinion, I don't agree with inserting myself nor others, law enforcement, federal retirement, or active by interviewing a minor for rates or views. Yeah, I don't either.
You know what you're talking about. They interviewed H. Somebody interviewed H today. The young boy, the 15-year-old.
Oh, yeah. I don't think so either, because I'm going to tell you something.
I hope his parents.
Well, if it's somebody in the community, I mean, there's law enforcement.
I don't think it was.
Law enforcement can't interview them unless their parents.
They were talking about somebody interviewed H. One of y'all said H was interviewed on one of the YouTube channels. Can you tell us again who it was? Chris's motivation. It was Chris that interviewed him.
Yeah, I think Chris should have. That's just my opinion. I don't think he should have done that without parent being there and them maybe coming forward wanting to be interviewed or something.
Interview room.
Yeah, the problem is if you're getting, he has one a potential witness, and I don't know. Really, yeah, I agree. It can really jeopardize the.
His parent was with him.
Yeah, but still, it's.
That's why we don't do murder cases.
Well, it's a missing, but I just would not have done it. Maybe he may even talk to the police, whatever. I don't know.
Chris would never jeopardize the case. Boy's mom was there.
Only problem with that, and
they showed his backside, not his front.
Well, that's fine, but the only problem with that is, and it's just me. Me and Chris I've got 33 years. I think he's got about 30, and he's probably interviewed a lot more people than I have for murder suspects. We were not in the same line of work. I was in narcotics. He was in homicide. But I'm just wondering, as long as the police, I don't know. Personally, I wouldn't have done it, but that's just me. I don't want to monkey up anything that TBI. Well, Chris got. Somebody says Chris got the.
That's good. Then that's good.
Yep. That's good, and I hope it helps them. But
yeah. Then he went about it the right way.
He might have went it the other day. I wouldn't feel comfortable doing it, but not unless I had some type of child psychology person with me. That's just me.
He's been interviewed by Ellie 3 times.
Well, I don't know. Just me. He may have done a great job, and he might break the case wide open. I'm just simply saying I wouldn't have done it.
Okay.
I don't have the experience to do it.
Coat of Many Colors says, nothing new. My mom wanted to support because we lost my twin. I do not feel they could relate to the loss of a child. Parent was there, and Ellie gave him permission. Coat of Many Colors, did you lose? Was your twin taken, or that's because it says your mom wanted to support because we lost my twin. He said he bleeped it. Jen said he bleeped out anything he felt TBI would be interested in.
Yeah, it's just, I just personally, the problem with doing what he did, and I'm just going to tell you right up, if he got the DVI permission first, and he notified them that he acted as an agent of the law enforcement, whether or not you understand that. But if I call the police and say I'm fixing to interview so and so, and I want your permission, and if they said, yeah, ask him about this or that, then he is acting as their agent, And in the long run, I hope everything went right.
Greyhound says, we found out Summer had been under the water and he went to get her out. Coat of Many Colors says, yes, he did. It's extremely interesting. I can say that what he says contradicts everything Candace said.
Well, we talked about the near drowning, dry drownings, and all that. Yeah, Jen, I understand that. I'm just saying, I've been in law enforcement 33 years myself, and I went to law school also. I'm not a lawyer. I didn't finish law school. I took everything, and decided I didn't want to do that. I wanted to enter law enforcement again. But I can tell you, if you interview someone and the law enforcement agency knows that you're interviewing them, and they can be considered when you get to court as an agent of the court. So I'm just saying, I personally would not feel comfortable doing that interview unless I had a child advocacy worker there with me, or with them, or I just would not feel comfortable doing it.
What if Chris was acting no different than a reporter?
Well, then I'm not saying he did something bad. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, if he tells the police before he interviews them that, hey, I'm going to do this interview, and then turns around and forwards that information to the police department on acting on that, he is an agent of the law enforcement. I don't care what you say. And to me, I would not feel comfortable doing that. I hope he did something, and maybe he will. I mean, I don't, I'm getting some feedback here from y'all, like y'all that think I'm against Chris. That's not what it says at all. Early on, when Chris and his partner were on, I wrote them an email, basically told them who I was. They asked me who I was. I told him who I was. I never heard back not a single word from them. So, I've never cooperated with them because they've never asked. But all I'm saying is, he does, like you said, like Melinda says, he knows the protocols. But I'm just saying, if I'm going to interview, say I had an interview with the mother tonight, and I call the police department first and say, hey, I have an interview with this mother tonight. Is that going to be a problem? And they say, no, that's not a problem. If you get a chance to ask them about this, then I'm an agent of them.
Okay. Yeah. Candelae said, Chris said to H, all the info given must be reported to TBI, and H agreed. Now, isn't H only 15 years old?
Yeah, but
so his parents were there. Yeah, I know.
Well, maybe everything. I hope he does some good. He's very capable of doing some good.
Did you see what Maui said?
He's a good friend as the lead TBI agent.
That's great.
That's great. I hope he does.
Hey, we want the case busted wide open. We don't care.
Yeah, I don't care who does it. I'm not. Listen, I know Coat of Many Colors left. I hope she didn't get mad, but
no, she said, "Got to run." Love you guys.
I'm not criticizing Chris. Don't get me wrong. Okay, I'm just simply saying, me personally, I would not do it because I don't know enough about the homicide protocols to interview a child, even with his parents, or get involved in this portion of the investigation. I don't want to butt head. I don't want to do anything that's going to hurt their case or feel like that I'm an agent of their case. You understand? That's all I'm saying.
Aquarian Light says H doesn't need anyone to cause more trouble for him. His mother does just fine. They need to do better for their son.
Yeah, you're right, Melinda. Yeah, I'm not arguing. If people feel like I'm coming down on Chris, that's not what I'm doing. I'm simply saying I would not have done that. Maybe if he's got prior arrangements with TBI or whatever,
he's got a relationship.
Then he can do that. But all I'm saying is, if you ask certain questions and you forward the information, you're an agent of that. You're acting as an agent of the police department. I have not watched. In fact, I haven't watched
Aquarium
Chris in a
Life.
long time.
Does Aquarium Life know Rachel's mother?
I don't know. He says he's not a big fan of Agent Thunder. But I will go back and watch it. No, I'm not. I'm
no,
not.
She said
Jen,
she was just worried. That
I'm not. I'm not. I'm not questioning his intentions at all. I hope he did some good for the case. I'm just saying personally, I myself wouldn't feel comfortable of doing that. I personally wouldn't feel comfortable, and it's just because I appreciate that, Jen. I have seen things. If he, he knows protocols and he knows how to do it, but I personally would not feel comfortable doing what he did, because you can, unless you know the protocols like apparently he does, you can put yourself in a bad position that can get you testifying in court in Tennessee, what it amounts to, because you would be, and gives the attorney, it gives any possible defense attorney is another person they can attack. And I don't want to let an defense attorney, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to let a defense attorney have another angle to attack because me, a person that's out of retired law enforcement, is doing interviews. Word oughta, H or
I don't believe a word oughta.
Out of her mother's mouth.
H or his mother's mouth.
Yeah.
These people have never had this kind of attention, or are milking it for all they can. Oh, Jukes is here. Hey, Jukes.
Yeah, the one thing with it is anyone that, and I'm sure that with Chris, he knows the ropes, because when this does go to trial, I'm sure everybody that's talked to any potential witness will be subpoenaed.
Marielle.
Yeah.
Maui says, in your opinion, yes, that's right.
Yep, absolutely. That's just, everybody's got opinions, and I'll just tell you exactly what, if I would feel comfortable, and I don't.
Look at what Boomer said.
Yeah, I agree, Boomer.
Jerry Springer.
Absolutely.
All right, we got 38 thumbs up and 2 thumbs down. So give us some thumbs up.
I know what thumbs down are about, and
okay.
that's, and like I said, I'm not taking any. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going against Chris or his methods. I'm just simply saying I wouldn't have done it. That's just me.
I can't imagine Jerry Springer there.
No, it would be a boom. It would have been something. But personally, I think that everybody's got to stay on this, because just like the Morphew case, is that we don't want to let it just go cold. I think, it's going to be difficult to find the body. I don't think she's alive anymore. I would hope she was, but I'm wondering if they even know that. But because that is severely rough terrain up there, anything could happen. And I don't know if you know it or not, but the hiker the other day that we covered, the girl that was in the mountains up there, I covered I think it was the other day. They have called off a rescue effort and deemed that more likely she's dead. Her tent was found at the base of the summit. She was going to summit a 12,000 foot mountain Rocky Mountains, all it is. They don't have any trees above a certain wind. And she never returned to her tent. They feel like she had a tragic accident and has died. So that's, we have been covering that. Why do you believe that she will be found and soon?
Who said that? Aaron?
They have searched with everything and have not found. I mean, there's just so much stuff that they could do. They could take her somewhere and bury her, and unless you just walk right up on it, I hope she is. The earlier, how do you think it could be a predator? Debbie, I think they need to look closer to home. That's my opinion. Been gone 30 days. I think there's a real possibility that she's deceased.
It just makes me sick about the little girl in front of Save-A-Lot.
Yeah.
If nothing else, the woman had a phone.
It's a rocky, mountainous region. Even closer to where I grew up in Huntsville, the mountains up there are not near as bad, and it's impossible almost to walk through them. I personally think, and it could be the guy in the truck, it could be, but
I think he's thinking maybe the sister's case too.
Yeah, it very well could be. The mom may be involved in that.
Did you hear Larry Millette has been named a person of interest in Maya Millette's disappearance? He should have been.
I did hear that.
He should have been already arrested, in my opinion.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah, I read this the other day about that. Well, Aaron, I wish that was true, that she would have been found because of that. But, we've been praying, and not to say if anybody can make it happen, God can. But did they check her sewer? You mean her
septic tank?
Septic tank. I doubt very seriously that it's there. They're not going to have it anywhere. They're not going to put her remains anywhere that they can be tied to them. I don't think they may not be the smartest in the world, but I don't think so. Lost custody of her 2 kids, and her sister took them, and they disappeared soon after without a trace. When it's unlikely. I don't know. I think they have put cadaver dogs out there.
Yeah, they have.
But then they didn't find anything around there. But, a lot of these people believe, well, if they don't find it on their property, they're not involved. I don't go that way,
Yeah, equestrian search didn't find her.
Well, I don't think the grandmas talked unless they talked to law enforcement.
Candace made a recent statement that check the tanks everywhere. She is angry with TBI.
Well, I know that the father got on there and was really upset because social media was so negative, I don't know what they're thinking about this.
And the pastor got on, or somebody from the church got on there and really blasted people.
Really blasted everybody. Well, after we get through here, I'm going back and watching Chris's interview.
After we go
with my daughter for a for a
We
few
got
minutes.
invited to a ice cream shop to go and meet our daughter and son-in-law
Yeah.
for ice cream, which is really what we need, right?
Yeah, right. Well, let me cover this next one. I wanted to cover it because I think it's important. We talk about this somewhere in a few minutes. This right here is Casey Johnston. She's missing. DOB 82794. She's a student at Temple University. I think that's what it was. 5'3", 180. She's brown hair, green eyes. She took off in her car also. Let's see what I got. This shows a couple of her tattoos on her arm. It's pretty all the way down her arm. And underneath it says here, Casey was wearing the same clothing as in the picture. She's a counselor and aide at a child care programs in the Neshanini School District. She is 5'3", reddish brown hair and tattoos. She's wearing a leopard print skirt. She drives a 2016 silver Ford Focus with a Temple sticker on the back. Cassandra has bipolar disorder per her mother and has not been taking her medication. So we know what we've discussed that before, that is bad, because when somebody's bipolar, they think they're okay and they need to stop taking their medicine, but that's when the disease acts up. This was some cameras. Her vehicle was caught on cameras, intersection cameras and others, and they tracked it via her phone records and everything. This is where they lost contact with her. Looking at the photos above, you can see that Casey was and is ordered to get home. She may have taken a route to Feasterville, which is Slowood in Georgia, Google map, which is shown in Google map. If so, she would have traveled near the Delaware River. Since there's no sign of her car, I believe the search party should be walking along the river to see if there's a possibility of a car that could have entered somewhere along that route. It's, possibility. I'm not too sure how far that route is, how far that could, maybe something for Adventures with a Purpose to look at. Oh no, something happened here. Hold on. Let's see. She was seen getting into her car, silver Ford Focus hatchback, leaving her friend's apartment on 12th and Vine Street to go home to Feasterville, Pennsylvania. She is on camera driving off in her car alone. She's also seen at 10th in Chinatown. Casey had lost her phone earlier in the night. Her mother talked with her on Thursday before, and everything seemed to be normal.
Well, and you know what? With this COVID being quarantined for a year and a half and all the things that have been going on, it's not surprising that more people are not suffering from anxiety and depression and everything.
Yeah, it says here is 26 years old, Bucks County, PA, went missing from Chinatown, Philadelphia on Saturday at 5:51 a.m. on July the 10th. And if they've already got some type of mental condition, And just because they're bipolar doesn't make them, you know, totally not able to get around and do stuff like. I mean, I know several people that are bipolar, and unless you knew them and knew what their disease was, you wouldn't even know it. Now, let me just go on and tell, because I'll probably get a bunch of Nancygrams on this. Let me make this very clear with y'all. I do not question Chris's motives in what he did, nor do I think that he was doing something that was bad. I just personally wouldn't have done it. That's all I'm saying. I don't have his experience in homicide or his experience with being friends with TBI. Maybe he arranged something with TBI, but I'm just saying, when you do that, you put yourself as an agent of them. And if he knows that, which I'm sure he does, then that's up to him.
Alexander says, I have bipolar disorder if you want some more insight.
Yeah, and Alexander, I know people that suffer from bipolar, and if you can maybe tell me this, the only time when people really have problems is a lot of times when you're bipolar, what I've heard is you take your medicine, you get to feeling better, your body and your mind convinces you, hey, I'm cured now. I don't feel this anxiety anymore, so I don't need my medicine. Then you stop taking your medicine, and then you fall back into the bipolar of up and down type things. Am I correct in that? Yeah, I agree that a lot of people go years. Yeah, I agree. Stop taking your meds. The worst you can do. But that's what happens. I talked to a guy once. He told me. He said, I was fine. I was doing better than I ever had. I was taking my meds. Everything was great. And then my mind convinced me, I don't need my meds. I'm cured. And then when they quit taking their meds is when they go back into a manic, depressive state of bipolar the way it does. Their highs and lows get worse than anything, you know. I think Barbara, everybody takes a lot of meds. I know I take more than
All right,
should.
Y'all got our thumbs up to 62. Thank you.
And listen, I want you to disagree with me. If you disagree with me, I mean, we're all here to give our own opinion. I'm not an expert.
And none of us are right.
I'm not an expert. I'm not a full-time law enforcement officer like I was all those years, but that's just the way it is. We all have opinions. It's basically your mood is going from 0 to 100. The meds have stabilized, and similar to when you stop taking antidepressants, when you have depression, just because you start feeling better. Yes, I 100% agree with that. You know?
Now, I will tell you, our son suffers from depression, and he's been taking St. John's wort, and it seems to be helping him.
Yeah, it's just a natural thing.
Yeah, and so we're happy for that.
Because and my son went to a doctor where the guy just pushed a lot of meds on him. That's all he did. He pushed a lot of meds, and it totally screwed up his head.
Yeah, that guy gave him 5 different medications to take.
And a lot of that, I think, is he didn't listen to the condition. He just listened to him talk, and I think he was just it's like throwing spaghetti on the wall and see what sticks.
Let's look at what Alexander said. I am so sorry.
What?
A hospital killed her daughter.
That's awful.
Alexander, we know about that. A hospital killed Tommy's mother. just for their negligence.
Yeah.
I am so sorry about that.
Yeah. My mother went into the hospital for a broken hip around Christmas of
77.
77, and by the second day of 78, she was dead. And basically, what it was, the doctor went on vacation Christmas holiday and didn't leave anybody in charge, and they were giving her blood thinner to keep her blood thin after surgery.
Caused her to have a
Didn't
stroke.
monitor her, caused her a stroke in her head, and it formed a blood clot up here, and it killed her.
And y'all, his mother had not been in the hospital or sick. She'd only been in the hospital one time, and that was to have this man that I'm married to.
Yeah, she was
awesome.
She was a very, very healthy woman.
She was she would have been the best mother-in-law. We got married 3 months after she died. She would have been the best mother-in-law. I had the best father-in-law too, though.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah. Well, I think I'm going to end this tonight. I have not felt good today. I've had a headache, and
we're supposed to meet our daughter at 8:15. So you guys forgive us, please, for cutting out early.
And I will promise you to go watch Chris as soon as we get back. And
y'all, and we will be praying for y'all, and y'all pray for us, okay?
And let's pray that Summer will be found
Yes.
alive. It's not likely, but let's do pray that she will be found alive. And hope that everybody that is involved in this, whether on the air or our channel or anybody's channel, will help get this solved.
Yeah, get this information out. You know, just post everywhere you can about Summer, because that lady didn't know she was missing, supposedly, that was 2.5 hours away.
Yeah.
We love you guys.
I've talked to a lot of people, and they say, I didn't know nothing about this.
Yeah, nobody up here knows about her.
All right, we love y'all. Take care. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks. We're going to have a wonderful time
and
with our
listen,
daughter.
Sunday at 12 o'clock in the daytime, our video comes out on the 1 million mile road trip. It will be about our solar install. And then midweek, we're actually going to have a live stream come up. We're hoping to do it on a new way to make a little money on the side. It might be something that you want to get into yourself. I would recommend it. So we'll talk to y'all then. We love you. Have a good night.